We're talking about Everton now and their new manager, Rafa Benitez. As things currently stand, Everton are 6th in the Premier League. Obviously unbeaten so far, 2 wins and a draw on 7 points. The same, of course, of all the teams above them, apart from Spurs, who have got 100% record. Okay, a couple of questions to you about Everton. I want to hear from Everton fans, obviously, 08717 22 And when Rafa came in, what do you think behind the doors, what the conversation he would have had with the board, what do you think their expectations, what was their brief to Rafa Benitez?
Well, a lot better than last season, because last season was a disaster in terms of the players they brought in. James Rodriguez was expected to do so much, and the first 4 games, as I've said, he was good. Showed flashes throughout the season, but consistently just wasn't there. So I guess, of course, the conversation would have to be get Everton Football Club anywhere near the top 6. I don't think he would have gone in there and said, listen, we expect top 4. That's not going to happen. But certainly in and around the top 6, because Everton Football Club are more than good enough to do that. And with obviously the players that they've got, and I like what they've done. I know they've only spent 1.7 in the transfer market, but Demarai Gray looks like a revelation. The pace, the way he looks like he's playing with real confidence. You've got him, Andros Townsend. And what I like about that signing, which is why it's so clever, is that he's looked at what they've got in terms of someone like Calvert-Lewin. Now we know Calvert-Lewin has been brilliant. He's so good in the air. Gets up early, wins his headers. And Andros Townsend, he's one of them traditional wide men that I would have loved to play with. He's one of them that gets the ball wide. And yeah, of course, a couple of times he'll cut in and shoot. But predominantly, he gets the ball wide. He looks to go past the fullback and get a crossing. Whether he cuts back on his left foot, gets a crossing. And I think that's going to do well for Calvert-Lewin. So I think for Everton Football Club and what Rafa Benitez has done, and with the players that he's got, yeah, of course, at times his football might not be the most spectacular, but he gets results, Rafa Benitez. And of course, the board, he wouldn't have said to the board, I can get you in the top 4, because that's not going to happen. But in and around the top 6, I think is more than doable.
When I look at Everton, when I was growing up as a kid, Everton were a fantastic side in Europe, obviously, and also they won the Premier League title. I remember, or the Division 1 as it was. I remember they had some fantastic Andy Gray scoring up front. They had Neville South, they had Kevin Ratcliffe, they had Sheedy, they had Trevor Stephen, Gary Stevens. They had a fantastic side, Everton. And you thought they would have built on that. Of course, they were managed by the late great Howard Kendall. From my understanding, fantastic person on and off the pitch as well. And then Everton really, apart from 95, where they won the FA Cup against United.
Ride out.
A header, yeah, thanks. They haven't really done it. And I know that clubs like Spurs are desperate for success. Yeah. But with Everton, I can't really put my finger on as to why they have never got back to those dizzy heights of the 80s.
Well, no, under David Moyes, I think they got finished in the Champions League, I think, and he got them to Europe. But you're right, in terms of winning leagues, listen, the football's moved on. The amount of money that's in football nowadays is obviously a lot different than it was then. Yeah. You look at some of the powerhouses, obviously, back when Everton were winning the titles and stuff, obviously the powerhouses of, say, Chelsea with Abramovich, even though, to be fair, that's a bit unfair to Chelsea because they did win a couple of FA Cups and stuff before, but I'm talking about certainly in Premier League terms, when Abramovich came in, they took off. Manchester City, the money came, they took off in the Premier League. Obviously Arsenal were doing, Manchester United were winning things before that. But for Everton Football Club now, certainly in this season coming, with Rafa coming in, I think in and around the top 6 is a very, very good season. And if they can go on a cup run, because I don't think they've done too well in cups, but I think if they can go on a cup run as well, I think the fans would be happy with that. But there's got to be consistency. That's the biggest thing.
That's the key. Let's talk to a fan. Liam is an Everton fan. You can have your say as well on National Radio simply by picking up the phone and dialing in. As always, we move on so quickly on this show. So if you're thinking of calling in, don't hang around. Pick up the phone now. 08717 22 Hi, Liam. Good evening to you.
Hi, mate. You all right?
I'm good. I'm very well. How are you? Where are you off to or coming back from?
Just driving back from work.
Oh, okay. Okay. What do you do for a living? I thought it was earlier than that. What do you do for a living?
Conveyancing.
Okay, you enjoy it?
It's all right, yeah.
Oh, okay. You enjoyed it more than you are when you heard the manager of your club was an ex-Liverpool manager?
Well, the only memories I had been with Liverpool related, so I wasn't too happy to begin with, but he's done all right so far, really, so I can't complain at the moment.
Do you think he's under even more pressure than any other Everton manager at this stage of the season because of his background?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think at the start we've had definitely helped him. You know, it's we've got off to a good start and the fans are getting behind him. You can see that, and everyone who was a bit tentative is now starting to get behind him more. But I think if the first few results had gone the other way, then he'd been under immense pressure more than anyone else would have been.
Liam, what is expectation then for Everton Football Club this season?
I think you're touching on it. I think top 6. I think last season was probably a good opportunity to break into that because a few teams underperformed. I think top 6, and then I'm not being funny, we've gone way too long without winning the trophy. We just need to win something.
Let me ask you this question. It's a horrible question to ask because it's Rafa Benitez in his history and the pressure he's under. In your opinion, Liam, how many games away, how many defeats is he away from the sack at all times?
How many defeats away from the sack, lads? Yeah, we haven't had any defeats yet.
No, I know, but I'm saying with defeats mounts pressure, but it's different for Rafa because he's starting on minus numbers, if you like, with regards to trying to win the fans over. So if he went on a run where maybe Everton lost 4 games, do you think that's enough?
I don't know. I mean, it depends who the games are against. I think we've got a tough run in December, so if the games are against like City, United, and say Chelsea, then I don't think you could really say that's worthy of a sack, really. But
Okay.
I'd say if you get beaten 4 games in a row where it's teams you'd expect to beat, then maybe questions could be answered.
Okay, and I'm curious, Liam, in your opinion, what's the split of fans, percentage terms, that are happy with him and not happy with him?
I think at the start it was very 50-50. I think it's more the older generation who weren't happy, and the younger ones just happy to see us play good football because we haven't seen it much recently. But I'd say now it's probably swayed. It's probably about 80-20. There is a majority who are right behind them now.
Oh, okay, that high.
And Liam, when you look at last season as well, if you look at Everton's form, I mean, you had a good start. You won the first 5. I think it was the first 4 games. And then you obviously went a bit of a barren run. Then December again, went on an incredible run. I think you won another 4 games. And then it's like you picked up a couple, like 1 win, then draws and a couple of losses. And then again in February, March time, you won 3 in the bounce. Is it the consistency where you're clumping all your wins together? Do you know what I mean? It's about spreading out throughout the whole season.
Yeah, definitely. I think that we just seem to go through these weird little runs where we'll win a load of games and then we go through another run where we'll go like 5 or 6 without a win. And it is just being consistent. If we want to be up at the top, we've got to be more consistent with those results.
Okay. Liam, always a pleasure. Thanks so much. Have a nice weekend. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers. Take care.
There you go, Liam, the Everton fan. Interesting that you said it's now 80-20. 80% of Everton fans are happy with Benitez. I'm surprised it's that high.
But it probably is that high. But a couple of results, and that could swing very quickly the other way.
Where do you think Everton will finish? He said top 6. I think that's realistic. They should be.
I think in and around the top 6.
Yeah, they should be there.
Put it this way, they're a lot better than 10th.
Yeah, but to finish top 6, they've got, apart from the obvious 4, they've got to be in and around Spurs. They've got to be in and around Leicester as well.
West Ham.
And West Ham.
But there's no reason why Everton can't be.
No, there is no reason.
There's no reason whatsoever.
You're right.
They've got one of the best centre forwards you have to say in the Premier League in terms of his numbers. He's playing well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Defensively at times, okay, maybe a little bit questionable, but certainly in the midfield, Alan and Decore, them two can run all day. Do you know what I mean? Damari Gray's full of confidence. He can create something.
You mentioned Townsend as well.
Townsend, Richarlison.
Yeah.
So I think anything around the top 6 is a good season.
Okay, Everton fans, you can have your say. We move on quickly, so don't hang around. 08717223344. You're listening to me, Andy Goldstein, and Darren Ben on Drive on talkSPORT with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Buying without part exchanging, and you could get a bigger discount on your next car.